colleague Emily Rand as we are doing our preview of the free agency special coming up on November 16th, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern on our Twitch and YouTube channels. And I think today we're going to discuss Doublelift. It's time.
You sound so sad. You're just like, oh.
Yeah, it's time. It's time. It's a difficult situation because I already had my heart broken once this offseason, or not even this offseason, during the World Championship when Bjergsen retired mid-Wake Up World show where that broke my heart. And then Doublelift also said, hey, I also thought about retiring. I almost retired with Bjergsen. We almost went out the sunset together. And I think that leads us to the question of, we have no mid laner at TSM. There's the other positions seem to be up in the air. Doublelift appears, as he said on Twitter, he didn't retire. He is staying in the game. Mm-hmm. How much does he have left in the tank? Is this a thing of TSM? Should they – obviously, he signed to the team. Do you commit to Doublelift? Obviously, they were probably the weakest point of TSM during the World Championship. How much does he have left in the tank? Is he still a player that you can play around? Is he – with Bjergsen gone, is he a player that could lead TSM to a World Championship again as the focal point?
I mean, I think Doublelift, for me, it always really depends on his motivation more than anything else, honestly. Because I look at his year and I'm like, oof, he had a really rough year. I don't know what was going on because that initially that TL team had so many massive visa issues and like problems outside of their control with the pandemic hitting, with spring points not mattering. Even before, when spring points did count, Doublelift was someone who did take spring off once to pursue streaming and see if he really wanted to do that. Came out of it and was like, no, I still want to be a pro player. And I think Doublelift has, as you always will, really, especially when you start getting like older in comparison to your peers and older in the context of how long he's played League of Legends professionally. I think you will always have those peaks and valleys, especially after such a historically disappointing Worlds performance. Yeah. You're going to take a look back and be like, wow, like, is this it? Like, do I retire? And I feel like every time Doublelift comes up against that, just from talking to him and interviewing him, like, he seems to come up against that and accept it and then somehow find some sort of drive to keep going. And that's already, kind of what it sounds like happened here. But that being said, I already mentioned this when we were talking about TSM's mid laner, but like, what does that look like in another year of the pandemic, in another year where we don't know what the state of LCS is going to be, and in another year where spring points, unless some sort of change is being announced, that, by the way, guys, that's not a rumor, that's just my fervent wish that spring counted for at least something. Yeah. Like, how much does that matter? Does Doublelift take the split off and then come back to the team for summer? Would TSM even let him do that? Yeah. Like, is that something that they'd even be interested in having in doing, given how they're already trying to restructure the rest of the team and might not want to have to, blow it up or make massive changes going into summer season, regardless of how much spring season matters. So I think the motivation issue is honestly the biggest sticking point for me, and that would be a conversation between TSM management and Doublelift to see what he wants as a pro player. That's the biggest sticking point to me. I don't know how you feel about it.
I don't think you can take summer off, especially since you're going to have a new mid laner in there. You want Doublelift to become familiar with that mid laner, be it a rookie or a Chovy or a Caps or either a big name player or a small name player. You want Doublelift to get those reps in to be ready for summer, to be ready for Worlds, maybe make MSI if there even is MSI, so you can get more games against the best teams in the world. It's a difficult situation because I think you can be very easy to be looking at this and be like, it was a weak side, Botlane. Like, all they were doing is playing Ashe and Jhin with the, play for turret plates, play for dragon, and then you play for team fights at the end of the game. And it wasn't that, solo kill, in the lane, let's play Kai'Sa, let's play Xayah, let's win the lane, let's win the game in the lane that, Doublelift is so famed for, and how he was the focal point. Let's play for this 5-6 item Xayah. Kaisa, Ezreal, like that kind of play style wasn't there, and you could probably say, he's not the best Senna player. You mean about Senna? Like he's not the kind of player where if he is a utility if he's a utility player, he's not in his best position. But also, even in the utility side, like you can play better than he did. Like I don't think.
I was gonna say I know people are down on Jackie Love right now, but if Jackie Love can do it, then Doublelift can do it.
If Jackie Love can somehow carry on Senna and make
look at his Senna, it's nuts. Like I wouldn't want to have to play against that. He plays up in lane and like attacks you constantly.
Yeah, Jackie Love had a very disappointing end to Worlds, but at least he made the playoff stage. And Doublelift didn't even see the victory stream during the World Championship, and he had loss after loss after loss. And I think it would have been very easy for him to retire. It would have been very easy. Like him and Bjergsen go off to the sunset together. Doublelift becomes an Among Us streamer, gets 30,000 views. He becomes the next XQC, raking the millions of dollars. He has the personality. He has the fan base where if he wants to do that, he can do that. He could become a top 10 Twitch streamer tomorrow if he just, settles himself and say, I'm going to stream every day. I'm going to play Among Us. He has the connection. He has the fan base. He has everything, the personality to be one of the best Twitch streamers just because of his personality, his trash talking, and his attitude, which is he's a hard worker and he has a silver tongue, so to speak, where he's not afraid to trash talk, which is great in esports and even better when it comes to streaming and getting sub dollars. So he could do that, and we've seen him do that. And he excelled as a streamer. He was making more money than he was playing League of Legends as a professional. But the drive to win a world championship keeps bringing him back, and I've seen at the end where Bjergsen was very zen about everything, where even when going into the world championship this year, he was like, yeah, it's good to go, but I want to go there and do well. I want to do damage. I think Doublelift, you ask him, like, if you make the 2021 world championship, what's your goal? He's going to be, I want to win worlds. Like, it's not, I want to do damage. It's not, I want to perform well. I want to make it out of group stages. I think his answer, no matter he could be with Ron McDonald and Grimace, and I still think he would say, I want to win the world championship with these guys. It doesn't matter if they're rookies, they're veterans, if it's Chove, it's Palafox. He's going to aim for the world championship, regardless of how silly that might seem to the outside public. And I think that is the beauty of Doublelift and also the dagger of Doublelift. And also like the thing that holds him. It's a double-edged sword where he cares so much about the world championship and winning at worlds, making out of groups and performing well at international events. He does say screw screen split because there's no point of screen split to him because there's no points allotted to that anymore, where it's just a domestic title where he has a treasure trove of that. So I think Doublelift still has it left in the tank. I think, as we said, and we're going to kind of bookend this on what you said at the beginning, is it's all about motivation. Mm-hmm. If there's a motivated Doublelift who comes into TSM camp, says mid laner, if there's new top laner, new jungle, new support, whatever it may be, and says, let's go do this. I'm ready. I want to win worlds. Let's go back at it. I'm 100% in. Spring split, summer split. This is an entire year process. It's not just a half a year process. It's not just a 1 month process to worlds. It takes an entire year of building and working and practicing to get to that world level. Look at Damon Gaming. They were terrible in the spring. It took them an entire year. So assuming it took the entire year for those two teams to iron out their kinks, to work it out, to become the ultimate teams they became at the World Championship, to really get over the hump, where TSM was a half-year measure where it was thinking of like, okay, spring split didn't matter. We're throwing our roster around. And then by the time those teams are peaking, TSM was still learning how to play together. So if Doublelift comes into camp, comes into the 2021 and says, I'm committed, let's go win worlds, I would still believe in Doublelift. And I still think, even if he's not made it, it's so silly, right? He's not made it out of group stages every single year.
Your optimism is
it's hard. It's hard to quit. It's hard to quit Doublelift, man. He's made it MSI finals. We've seen he can do it on the international stage, but just Worlds has kind of just not been there, and it's hard. It's not the T Liquid situation. It's not Jensen where Jensen's gonna have Alfari, Tactical, Core JJ, maybe Santorin. Doublelift might have a much steeper hill to go up towards, but I want to see him play. After an 0-6, I think this was for Bjergsen and Doublelift. It's one of the reasons why I was so sad Bjergsen retired, is because I didn't want to see him go out on 0-6. I didn't want to see him go out at the lowest point of his career. And Bjergsen did that. He retired, and I totally respect his decision. He's now a head coach. He's going to do it his own way, right? Where, yes, his last game was a total failure, and it was the lowest point of his career. It was an embarrassment in his own words, but he's going to make it up by coaching. That is his way of getting back to it and trying to overcome that failure. And for Doublelift, I think he's a player, and he's not a coach. He's not a manager. He's not a front office guy.
Doublelift.
Yeah, he's not. It's not Coach Doublelift. It's player Doublelift. And I think Doublelift is going to look at this year and say, "This might be my last year. This might be it, but I'm going to go out and give it all my all." And I really do hope that we have a motivated Doublelift in 2021, because if we do, it's going to be a lot better than we saw in 2020.